The naked truth.
Cause and effect.
One of my favorite universal laws is
Cause and effect.
because we work it consciously or even subconsciously. Universal law is similar to that religious saying,
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
and
Thy will.
is always being done. Regardless of what we do, it's always within the parameters of
Thy will.
no thing can come into this plane of existence without
Thy will.
In life, we tend to think that we are affected by other people or outer circumstances. But in all reality, we affect ourselves by how we view the situations. And the situations are perceived in our mind, where each individual has their own power to manipulate the reaction. The instant you commit inside to a reaction, you lock yourself into an emotional state of mind. There is a saying that goes, for every action,
There was an equal or greater reaction.
but when you take a more broad overview on action versus reaction, there is only action, even a reaction. The suffix of the word is action. That's the pickup remix. It's just action in motion. Action versus reaction is deeply rooted in emotion and a constant flow of energy. And you gotta think of it like
water, we have the very delicate job of guiding the active emotional waters of energy properly.
one can say,
You make me mad when you act that way.
or one can say,
I've chosen to be mad because of your actions.
and it's all a choice. Most people won't say they've chosen to be mad because of somebody's actions, but whenever someone chooses to get mad, that's exactly what happens.
Because it's all a choice.
Both of these statements are based on reaction. One is just reacting to outer circumstance, while the other is reacting to inner circumstance. The question is, are you lending your emotional power and control to someone else, or are you controlling it yourself? And are the reactions by choice or cause and effect, or both? Well, based on one's life experience, mind will always cause one to make a choice. And that choice the individual makes affects the mood, tone, or emotional state of mind of the individual. So in a sense, it's actually cause and effects choice. The brain goes through hundreds of thousands of thoughts daily, but can only process so many.
Thoughts are random.
And they randomly occur on their own sometime, which makes thoughts hard to control throughout the day. And our minds are like the roulette ball that stops on the number thought chosen, making thoughts hard to control. Now we all know life can be a gamble, and when one knows the game they're playing well, they're more than likely to succeed in the end. Now the game of cause and effect is very structured in principles. There are no tricks, no loopholes or outs. Once one begins this life game of cause and effect and sets energy in motion, there are no take-backs or do-overs, but one can always redirect the energy, which can cause a different or more positive or negative effect. More so than positive or negative, a good or bad effect. In an average relationship over time, things can change from either good to bad or great to less than great. Now why is that? Well, if you look at the mindset of the individual in the beginning of the relationship, the mental suggestions that are perceived are good, if not close to perfect. Even the flaws are okay. But as time goes on and the relationship gets old, we start to find out things about that person that we don't like. Look how it works. In other words, in the beginning, we give ourselves good mental suggestions about the other half, and then, through time, we begin to give ourselves bad mental suggestions about the other half, and both sides do it. It's not a gender thing. Both sides do this. When we do this, only one thing can happen. We start to see exactly what we don't want to see. So much to the point that we see exactly what we don't want to see. Huh? In other words, we start seeing what we feel. It sounds simple to say, just start feeling like you used to, or just see your loved one like you used to, but we all know it's a lot more complex than that. But in all reality, one must learn to then cause a different effect. In other words, we must realize that it's not the other half that has changed as much as it is one seeing the other half as being different or hard to be with. But let's be real. There are some situations where the other half just lets go completely and shows you a totally different side. And just like food can go bad, people can go bad too. And people don't normally eat food gone bad, but will stay with people gone bad.
That's weird.
If this unfortunately does happen, hopefully you know how to live with yourself. Dr. Larry Coco Welton teaches, when you know how to live with yourself, you can virtually live with anybody else, and anyone that you can't live with, you know how to separate yourself from.
The thing to remember is that action is still rooted in your inner thoughts and emotion. Essentially, you are closer to your thoughts and emotions than anybody or anything. And this is why one should naturally be able to control reactions in a more balanced way, if you choose. You are the source of control and balance in your reaction, and there is only action in motion. Hold.